Hi, so I'm Louise Field from Adore Your Pelvic Floor, and I am delighted to be here today with Siobhan. Now, Siobhan is a very exciting lady. She's a MSK physio, but she's developed posture fitting, and she also has a CPD, Gals Against Gravity workshop, and that's open to all healthcare professionals. But there's 2 levels on this CPD, but I'm sure Siobhan can tell you more about it. But Siobhan, firstly, thank you for coming. And I just want to know, how comes you've ended up being surrounded by breasts and bras?
Hi, Louise. Thank you so much for having me. More than happy to share my story. You'll just have to try and stop me from talking. That's my problem. So I'm in Cork. Cork is on the south coast of Ireland, and people may know about Cork because we have something called the Blarney Stone, and the Blarney Stone is basically a piece of a castle. So you climb up this really narrow stairs up to the top of this castle where there's the most amazing views over Cork, and then people kiss this stone. I never did. I've always thought it's a bit of a dodgy thing, and perhaps now, well, it's not happening now with coronavirus, so perhaps that's an advantage of COVID, that stopped. But anyway, apparently it bestows the gift of the gab. You don't need to kiss the thing, you just need to be born within spitting distance of it. So anyway, me, breasts and bras, how did that all happen? So yeah, MSK physio, I used to be a PE teacher, started my life as a PE teacher. Very early on in my PE teaching career in London, and I apologise to any now adults in London that, excuse me, I might have been responsible for giving poor exercises to. A colleague went on a course and came back saying, "Oh my God, everything we do is contraindicated." And this was this new word back in 1988, contraindicated exercises. And it was basically, we had been teaching what we were teaching for PE, and then science came along and went, well, actually, I'm not so sure that you should be doing it like this. And that was a real eye opener for me, because I was like, oh, wow, I've been taught to teach this stuff and I've just taught it. And that made me stop and actually go, hang on now a second. Let's think about this. Let's think about movement. Let's think about what that's doing. So I then decided that I was going to retrain and went off to the States, did a master's over there. And a big focus in the master's was on injury prevention, which kind of tied in with the whole, I'm a PE teacher, I don't want to be teaching people exercises that could ultimately give them a problem or lead them down a road that might end up with them having a problem. So went and did that, loved what I learned over there, it was amazing. Came back, ran my own clinic in the UK, up in Lancashire for 14 years plus, and then came back to Ireland. We kind of all end up coming back at some point. And when I came back to Ireland, I suppose my field is musculoskeletal, and I would have been more specialist in sport and exercise. And as I came back into a smaller population, smaller sporting population, I just began to do a little bit more generic physio, I guess. And I began to realize, because I had become quite forensic at this stage, and I began to realize that people were coming in with problems that, with the best will in the world and in blissful ignorance, were a lot of times self-inflicted. And I would explain to them, look, when you're doing this, when you're sitting like this, when you're moving like this is what's happening. And I found myself explaining more and more to people about posture and the concept of posture. And I know posture is very much in the dock at the moment, in terms of there is no perfect posture, and certainly there is no perfect posture, but there are postural alignments that allow us to function better, and that was what I was looking at trying to help my patients to achieve. So having been in kind of that mindset, I was in London for the proms with my mother-in-law, and I had read, when I'd been in the UK, I had read about Rigby and Peller. And Rigby and Peller is a lingerie store just in London, which is one of the problems that I discovered. We were in London, and I said, sod it, let's go to Rigby and Peller. We had a couple of hours free. So we went in. I walked in the door at 36B. I walked out the door a very different size. And I will put that on and show you in a minute. But basically, I was amazingly fit. They're amazing the way they do it. They do it all by eye. They're just incredible. Literally, she went out 2 seconds after I had just taken my top off. She was gone. I was like, where have you gone? How are you going to know what size I am? You haven't even looked. She was gone. She came back with 32 double D and 32E. Now, she didn't tell me that when I was putting them on, which is probably just as well. Because, dear God, I thought I was going to be on page 3 of the Sun. I was like, double D, oh my God, that's like huge. And then I kind of walked out of there going, yeah, but even if I am on page 3 of the Sun, I'm taller, I feel longer. I've always been small, so any little bit of height is good. And I just couldn't believe the difference in terms of how I felt. And my mother-in-law was the same. She was also a small lady, and she was saying the same. Small in height, but she was quite, now she was what we would call quite heavy. But I didn't think I was heavy, and there I was, a double D. So anyway, this started me then on a what is going on here. Started to look into it, found loads of stuff that I was gobsmacked by the fact that so many women are in the wrong bra. And it is the wrong bra. I know we talk nowadays about how we have to be careful about the language that we use and all that. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It's that simple. So I'm not cushioning it with people. I'm not saying, oh, you could be in a slightly better bra. No, that's wrong. Get it off. It's not good for you. And I'm going to show you in a minute why it's not good for you. She says, I'm quite uncomfortable in this, so the sooner I can take this one off, the better, to be honest. And it's making me do this. Anyway, I'll try, but it's hard work now to work against this, so, because gravity just wants to do.
Wow. Girls against gravity.
Yes, exactly. So where was I? Yeah, so I just started to research it, and then realized, and of course then, you know what it's like, when you buy a white car and you keep seeing white cars on the road. So I had just done all this research about bras and had my own breasts correctly fitted for the first time in their lives, and it took them, I was in my 40s, so it took them 30 odd years for that to happen. They were so happy. And I kind of thought, right, I'm seeing this now in all my patients. Every person who came in, woman, that is, even if they were in for an ankle sprain, I was looking at their breasts, and they knew me, so they were okay with it. But I could see it in everybody, and the number of people whose bra straps I was pinging back and going, look, you could fit a small child in there. That's definitely not giving any support. So decided, right, Siobhan, stop telling people that they're in the wrong bra, help them to be in the right bra. And that's where it all got interesting, because finding a course where I could be trained was a real challenge. I found one eventually, but it took me a while. And I ended up doing a course that was designed very much for retailers, and that's fine because nobody else was doing it. And then once I had the knowledge to be able to tell somebody or help somebody to be in the right bra, I was like, great, excellent. Can't fit somebody in a bra unless I have the bra. So I started to gather up bras from various places, and then realized very quickly that people who were coming in were not necessarily the size of the bras that I had gathered up. So back to the drawing board again, and I thought, right, I'm going to have to get full size range from 28 up to 46. Wow. And so I partnered up with a lingerie manufacturer, which is based in the UK, and I chose them because their ethos is very much about fit. They're very, very passionate about making sure women are in the right fit. They're not just about selling bras, and they could sell bras because, let's face it, 50% of the population wear them. And 50% of the population wear them, with a very small portion of the population actually wearing the right one, but people still buy them. So they could sell bras anyway, but they're very focused on fit, which I loved. And to cut you can tell it's going to be a long story. To cut that long story short, I partnered up with them, and I now have in my clinic, I have 4 different styles of bra. And the reason for 4 different styles is I wanted a sports bra, I wanted a wired sports bra, and I wanted a non-wired sports bra. And we'll talk about non-wired maybe another day, because you know what I'm like. The non-wired, no, we'll talk about it another day. Stop, Siobhan. And then I wanted a day wear bra, and the day wear one that I wanted, feedback from patients had been that they wanted a t-shirt style. And I had a very specific requirement in terms of what the straps do that I wanted. And they had one that I wanted, but the size range didn't go all the way up to the top. So I ended up getting a second style. So I have 4 styles basically, and started offering that as a physiotherapy service to my patients. How can I explain this? Just the job satisfaction of standing there with a woman and changing her life. And honestly, that's what people have said to me. They've said it's life changing. That they'll stand in front of the mirror and they will find their waist again, because they haven't seen their waist since they started to develop breasts. Because where do they go? Southeast and southwest. So they sit under here. So then when we stand up, we're a block here. So they, women are just amazed, and just the whole feeling. Oh, look at that! The whole feeling of being supported. Like if I let that go, gravity is winning. Hello. Whereas when I put my other one on, hopefully you'll be able to see the lines are going downwards here. Handy wearing a stripy top. So the stripes are going downwards. And that's what they've said, that they all feel lighter, they feel supported, they will comment on the shape. And that made me also realize that I was in this to help people to feel better and to help people to move better. But really what patients were saying to me, oh my God, look at how I look.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing when women see an improvement in the mirror. And yes, it's not all the be all and the end all, but it's important psychologically for what gives them, a positive about the fact that they're doing something, they're empowering themselves, they are improving themselves, and they were incredibly happy about that. And what made them happy makes me happy every day. Love it. But so now the point is now, I can't clone myself, so I need to get other people doing this for me. So then I developed the Gals Against Gravity workshop so that I could get more people out there aware of the issue. And that's both women as consumers and professionals, healthcare professionals, fitness professionals, anybody who's interested. To be honest, I am happy for them to get that information. And then from that, once somebody has been on a GALS course, I will then invite them to become a posture fitting physio partner. And I'm hoping, I currently have a clinic in Dublin that is offering the service, and started our first UK practice in just this last month at the end of January. So 2 down, the rest of the world is on its way.
Oh, that's just awesome. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't even go bra shopping anymore. I gave up bra shopping years ago. And so as a woman in the street, Siobhan, this is what happens, isn't it? You buy a bra and you got to get all your clothes off. It's a pain in the neck. But then you go in there and you do the test, right? So you will jump up and down, see if they sort of stay in. I then lean forward to see if they stay in. Yes, they do. I then wear the bra for the first time. They fall out. I've got the 4 bumps going on, and I just gave up on it. And I've been wearing, I don't know, probably not maybe the best thing. You would probably be going, oh no, Louise, I've just been wearing sports bras for years now. I haven't worn an underwire bra since I have got my underwear drawer that is creating dust, that has all my old corsets and my sexy knickers, and it has my underwire bras that do that, but I haven't worn them for, I reckon, 10 years, any of them. It's just creating dust. And so yeah, I mean, the sort of thing I happily wear is look, I'm getting my tops off now. I know that you're going to get your
before
top.
Me. Oh, you won that competition.
Yeah, I'll get my top off before you. So yeah, it's just like having a typical sort of bra here, but I always just buy a small, medium, large, which obviously you'll probably go, whoo. So so this is me from the street going, well, this is reality for me. So Siobhan, tell me more. So you've got the bra on that you went into London with, and you're going to show us what happens.
Yeah, before I do, I'm just want to pick you up on a couple of things you said there. Firstly, things that are common to you and most of the women, well, I'm being grossly generic, but based on what I have seen so far, I think this is reasonably fair to say. Everybody has an underwear drawer that they haven't opened for years and years and years, because everybody buys bras, puts them on, thinks, can't wait to take it off at the end of the day, throws it in that drawer and it never comes out again. And so what happens is they buy another bra and that ends up in the drawer again because it's not comfortable either. And they buy another one. So this drawer is bulging at the seams because there are so many bras in it, and none of those bras are right for the person. But this is a real cyclical problem. They don't know what's right for them, so they keep buying what's wrong. Okay, now the other thing that you said, which puts you in a very much a minority category, is that you fit a bra on before you buy it. Most women go in, pick it off the shelf because they think they are a 34C or a 36B or a 38D or whatever they think they are. They either think that because they have been measured somewhere
years ago.
That's somewhat unreliable. Years ago, potentially years ago, loads of life changes since then, but none of that's taken into account. But even years ago, when they got measured in the first place, some of those measurements are not very accurate, because they're using a very outdated technique. And we know for a fact, like research is showing the number of women who are in the wrong bra. And so far, with like I've been offering the service now, we started our trial in 2015. So effectively, I've been doing it for 5 years and I have not yet found one single woman in the right bra. Not one. So, sorry, to go back to that.
Yeah.
You put it on, you went into the change rooms, you jumped up and down, you did a reasonably good job of trying to think about what are my needs in this bra. Most women don't do that. Pick it up off the shelf, take it home. And that's why, like, you see all these memes and all these, or memes, however you say that word, and all these cartoons about women dying to take their bra off at the end of the day. If they're wanting to take their bra off at the end of the day, it's the wrong bra.
Yeah.
Okay, here's me. So I am wearing possibly the same bra that I was in when I went to Rigby and Peller, but certainly it's the same size. And if you look, you can see, do you know what? I've also, because I've been wearing the right bra for 5 years, 10 years now, I think I've improved slightly. We have no muscular structures here at all. It is skin and Cooper's ligaments. Cooper's ligaments are not ligaments. They're a complete misnomer. And they do nothing in terms of working against gravity. So we have no structural integrity at all here. Anything that we have in terms of support is coming from back there, and that's thoracic extension, as opposed to changing the relative position. So I can be in a reasonably good thoracic extension and my breasts are still dipped headlights, is what I like to call it, dipped headlights. So here I am with my dipped headlights. Okay, my breasts are over underneath my arms. They probably would be worse if I had worn this for more than just an hour this morning. And that angle there, what will happen over the day, if I keep wearing this, is the band will start to ride up the back.
Uh-huh.
And as the band goes up the back, that comes down at the front. So what goes up the back goes down at the front. Okay, so if I take this off, what you'll see is I'm busting out all over for a start.
Yeah.
But the key thing here is there, that wire is pressing in on my breast tissue and I'm poking now on breast tissue. That's what makes women want to take their bra off at the end of the day. If it doesn't poke in here, it'll poke in here. And that's why women don't like underwear bras, because they poke in to breast tissue, which is sensitive tissue, and it's not, that's not what the wire is supposed to be doing. The wire is supposed to be supporting the breasts and creating a position that is comfortable and definitely not poking in there. Yeah. I'm hoping my postman doesn't come outside the window. I'm just going to go and put on what I should be wearing.
I've got my husband at home. He could walk in at any time as well.
Oh my Lord. It's a good thing I'm off camera, but I'm still in front of the window. Holy cow.
Oh dear. But you could see how that wasn't supportive. That just took me back to the bras that I don't wear anymore.
Yeah.
Because everything is hanging out at the front. And like you say, the bra strap going up the back throughout the day. You see it, don't you, when girls are wearing a low back top in the summer, but the back of the bra strap is up by their shoulder blades.
It's exactly, yeah. I forgot to bounce off. I should have bounced off. Okay, this is me in my good bra where I'm not bouncing very much. I'll put the other one back on to do the bounce test in a minute. But basically, this is one of the bras that I now have. And the other thing that's really important is the way that we put it on. And again, nobody ever gets taught this. So this is all part of what we do on the gals course, and then all part of what my posture fitting physio partners do with their patients. So you can see, and if we come back to do the wire thing, the wire is now here on my rib cage, and my breast tissue is inside it. So now I'm looking like I actually have a little bit more than I did when I was in the other one, because with the other one, everything was pressed back there, bra tissue was back there. If I put the top on, the other thing is really important, that just gives me a little bit more, it changes the cup a little bit, but it also just gives me that little bit more support. And all the bras that I have in my range have that. And that's a feature, it's called a racer back. And that's a feature that you'll see on sports bras a lot, but it hadn't been on a lot of daywear bras. And for me, it's
in the summer, because a lot of our tops and dresses can cross over at the back.
Exactly. So yeah, so that works. So there's me. I am now at full beam, no longer on dipped headlights. And if you look, see where the line is? It's going straight across. If anything, I would want it straight, going slightly up. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that then, if I sit down again now, apart from the fact that somebody's going to go, oh my God, you can see your straps, that's because I'm wearing a top that is quite wide here. I can choose not to wear it that way, but it does suit this bra better. And you can see I'm closer together now.
Yeah.
And I do actually, I mean, this is one of the things that larger breasted women will get a little bit concerned, because I will say to them, look, what's going to happen is right now your breasts are down and out, Beverly Hills. I'm going to bring them up and towards each other. Now, not so much towards each other that we're in a uni boob and not in a boob tube, but they need to be closer to each other to be supported, to be uplifted, to not be working.
Mine now.
I know. People always do. After I have conversations,
people playing with their boobs.
You want to be in the pub with me sometime? Everybody is walking around doing this, and I've got my top off and everything. Oh, remember those days. Anyway, so the key thing here is the forward projection, which gives you uplift. So you're being brought inwards here, which brings you up.
Yeah.
And the old, was it Triumph or Playtex, that whole lift and separate? There's a lot to be said for that. But if I come back and I stand up now, I now have a waist.
Yeah.
Where previously I went straight down. Okay. Now I go in and I go out.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that women see in the mirror and get so excited about. Because they literally had forgotten that they had a waist.
But I don't want us to I want to keep our IGTV quite concise, but there's a couple of key things, I think, isn't there? Is that it's going to help posture, it's going to help reduce back pain, it's going to actually, we don't want all of that going on, not just for the cosmetic or the aesthetic side of things, but again, that will have other implications, which you'll know more about than I do. So it's the health benefits that took you there in the first place. And then there is the aesthetic, because you felt it yourself when you went to London and got fitted, and you felt like $1 million, and you wouldn't mind being page 3 because you felt so good.
So that was a huge bonus for me, and a really important bonus. Yeah, absolutely.
So before we finish then, because we could always do another one, is there anything, any key point that you feel hasn't been said yet that is what you want to get out today?
Oh, I think the challenge with this has been, it's great to let women know that the chances are they are wearing somebody else's bra. It's then about the solution. It's about how do you get to the right one. And unfortunately, this is where the problem is, because a lot of the techniques that are used in places where measurement is offered are not very accurate. I put my information into an online size guide last week, and it was asking what I thought was all the right questions. I was like, oh, this is great. Well, gosh, they're getting it. They're getting it. And then they told me I was a 36E.
Okay.
A 36E.
You're 32DD.
Yeah.
I know that.
The cup on a 36E is going to be exponentially bigger. So this is a 32E that I'm wearing now. So 34E is going to be here and the cup is going to be bigger. A 36E is going to be here. 36 is what I was wearing and the cup is going to be bigger. So like, even if I took that guide and I went online, because now most of the places aren't open anyway, and I ordered myself a 36E, it would come in and it would be of no use whatsoever to me because it's the wrong size. And that's the thing that is the frustration, because I'm very aware that I'm pointing out to people that the chances are they're in the wrong thing. But then it's about how do you get them right. And there are some online guides that are more accurate. There are some that are spot on. I just need to get posture fitting physio partners everywhere so that people can go to them, because I will be very confident that they will be in their optimal fit in that situation. But there are some guidelines that can help. And for me, the woman should be able to fit herself. It's a skill, it's an awareness, it's the knowledge that every woman should have. And for me, it's, I want to get into schools and start getting girls when they're teenagers, because it affects their exercise participation. It affects the habits that they create for life in terms of physical activity. We have research showing how much girls drop out of sport and out of exercise, not just competitive sport. So yeah, it's about getting in at that early age and educating and empowering women and girls.
Okay, so what I'm going to suggest then is that if anybody is a physio who would like to become a posture fitting physio, then partner with you, then actually if they comment in the box, and then you can get in touch with them. And we'll also put your website in the comments. And also to find you on Instagram. How does everyone find you on Instagram? What's your title?
So on Instagram, I'm posture.fitting. The other thing I guess I should say is that I am doing virtual fittings. Oh. It's not as ideal as having the person there and being able to physically put the bra on them, because there are things that, there are little tips and tricks that we could, if you want to do that, like, no, maybe we won't. But yeah, if anybody wants, I'm happy to do virtual fittings and set those up. And also, the partners, the physio partners that I have, that's something that, we're all looking at doing now, because it's just, it means that people can actually access the service during these days as well, when and obviously all physio practices are open because we're an essential service. So if there is a physio partner nearby, anybody who's interested, then they can be seen in clinic because it is an essential service. But if they're not within geographical, distance of one of my partners or myself, then yeah, virtual is an option.
Oh, that's lovely. So people, we'll put in your Facebook link, we'll put in your website link, we'll put in your Instagram link. People can put questions in the comments. And really, really lovely, an intriguing subject. We all love, why not? I love talking about breasts. Not often I talk about them, but they're great things to talk about. And it's a fantastic insight. Siobhan, I just want to say thank you. Great IG.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
It's just great to spread the word. So thank you for helping me to do that.
Oh, well, my pleasure, darling. And I'm looking forward to actually attending your first CPD. Okay. Lots of love, darling.